Brazil used to be the team everyone feared. 5 World Cup trophies. The most iconic jerseys in history. Players so good they basically invented what modern football looks like. So why does it feel like Brazil has completely lost the plot? Here's what's actually going on. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why one of the greatest football nations on earth is quietly falling apart. And trust me, the real reason is not what most people think. Let's start with something simple. In football, there's one role that controls everything. The striker. Think of them like the quarterback in American football. The guy the whole team is built around. Your striker scores the goals. Goals win games. Games win trophies. Simple. Brazil's problem? They don't have one. Not a real one, anyway. For over a decade, Brazil had Neymar. You've probably heard the name. He was Brazil's everything. The creative spark. The guy who made things happen. The player opponents feared most. But Neymar is now 32, constantly injured, and hasn't played meaningful football in almost 2 years. The guy who carried Brazil on his back is basically gone, and nobody has replaced him. Here's where it gets wild. Brazil has a population of over 215 million people. They produce football talent like a factory. Kids play football on beaches, in streets, in tiny concrete cages called futsal courts. Basically indoor football with a smaller ball that teaches ridiculous technical skill. This country is obsessed, and yet their national team cannot find a single striker who consistently scores goals at the highest level. That's like the country that invented basketball suddenly not being able to find someone who can shoot a three-pointer. Something is deeply broken. So what actually happened? Part of the answer is tactical. Tactics in football just means, how does your team move and play together? Think of it like a game plan in any sport. Brazil's current game plan is a mess. Under their recent managers, and there have been several in a short time, they keep switching formations. A formation is basically the shape players stand in on the field. Are you pushing for players forward? 3 defenders? 2 holding midfielders? Every time Brazil changes their formation, players lose their rhythm. They don't know exactly what their job is. And when players are confused, teams lose. It's that simple. But the deeper problem goes beyond tactics. It goes into identity. Brazil's football culture was built on something called jogo bonito. It literally means the beautiful game, playing with creativity, flair, joy, players improvising, taking risks, doing things that make you put your popcorn down. That philosophy produced Pelé, widely considered the greatest player ever. It produced Ronaldo, who tore apart the 1998 and 2002 World Cups. Ronaldinho, who made defenders look like they were frozen. These weren't just good players, they were artists. Now, Brazil plays cautious football, safe passes, defensive shape, low risk, no magic. It's like if a jazz band, known for improvisation and soul, suddenly decided to only play by strict classical rules. Technically okay, but you lose everything that made people love them in the first place. And the results prove it. At the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, the biggest tournament in football, 32 countries, billions of viewers, Brazil were eliminated in the quarterfinals by Croatia. On penalties, Neymar scored a brilliant goal in extra time. The whole country thought this was their moment. Then Croatia's goalkeeper saved 3 straight penalty kicks, and Brazil were out. The scenes after that game were heartbreaking. Grown men crying. Players collapsed on the pitch. A nation of 215 million people completely silent. For any other country, a quarterfinal exit is respectable. For Brazil, it was a national tragedy. And here's the stat that should really hit you. Brazil are considered the greatest football nation in history. More World Cup wins than anyone. More iconic players than anyone. But they haven't won a World Cup since 2002. That's over 20 years. A whole generation of Brazilian fans has never seen their country lift that trophy. Meanwhile, their biggest rival, Argentina, just won the 2022 World Cup, with Lionel Messi finally getting his trophy. In Brazil, that stings on a completely different level. Now here's the complicated part. Brazil actually has talented young players right now. Vinícius Júnior plays for Real Madrid, one of the most powerful clubs on the planet, and he's genuinely terrifying to defend against. Fast, unpredictable, confident. Rodrygo is clinical. Endrick, who is only 18 years old, already plays for Real Madrid and scores goals like someone twice his age. The talent is there. So why isn't it working? Because talent without structure is just chaos. You need a clear system, a coach with a vision everyone believes in, a striker role that's defined and filled. Brazil has been cycling through managers and ideas, and nothing is sticking. It's like having 5 elite NBA players, but no coach, no plays, and everyone just freelancing. You might look exciting, but you won't win a championship. And then there's the pressure problem. Brazilian fans don't celebrate reaching the last 8. They expect to win the whole thing. Every single time. That expectation filters down to the squad. Players play scared, afraid to make the mistake that makes them a villain back home. And that fear, that tightness, kills exactly the kind of creative, loose, joyful football that made Brazil legendary. So here's the full picture. 5 World Cup titles, the most iconic football culture on the planet, real young talent in the squad right now, and yet no trusted striker, a rotating cast of coaches, a lost tactical identity, and a fan base whose expectations might actually be crushing the team from the inside. The 2026 World Cup is coming, and it's happening right here in North America. The United States, Canada, and Mexico are hosting it together for for the first time ever. Brazil will be there. They always qualify. But the clock is ticking. Will they rediscover the jogo bonito? Will Vinícius finally lead them the way Neymar once did? Or will another tournament pass without the green and yellow lifting that trophy? Nobody knows yet. But one thing is clear. Brazil's problem was never a lack of talent. It's a lack of identity. And until they figure out who they are again, the trophies aren't coming back. If this video helped football click for you even a little bit, subscribe. We break down the biggest stories in football every week. No prior knowledge needed, no complicated jargon, just the stuff that actually matters explained simply.